And through we go into KTAC B, where if we're going to meet our end on this journey, it's going to be now. This is Bill. Bill wants to build a Cynabal and join the Angel Cartel cause in Zarzak, but he's not making it easy on himself. We're still here in J7A TAC, deep in the Angel Cartel-controlled region of Curse, null-sec. In our ongoing quest to build a Cynabal and get to Zarzak, we are at this point. We're working to get up to 3.0 standings with the Dominations Corporation, which will allow us to begin the Angel Sound Epic Arc and eventually earn ourselves a Cynabal BPC, which is an essential first step to building a Cynabal. So far, we have managed to get our domination standing up to 1.81, so we're almost 2/3 of the way there. And we have been offered this mission from Eva Morel Nemestra, who is a storyline agent affiliated with the Dominations. Materials for war preparation. This is an important mission which will have significant impact on your faction standings. All she wants us to do is bring her 1,000 veldspar, which is only 100 cubic meters. It would fit in the hold of Angela R. Slasher. The problem is that we are 12 jumps deep into null-sec. And veldspar, asteroids, only naturally spawn in Empire space, since they removed the belts from Curse and many other null-sec regions and moved all the ores into anomalies. So, even though 1,000 units of veldspar should theoretically be very easy to acquire, doing so would require us flying all the way back out to Empire space. Or that's what we thought. That's what we thought at the end of the last episode. I have come up with another plan. There is also a regular level 1 dominations agent here, Shabani. We've run 16 level 1 Angel Cartel missions so far without too much difficulty, and I'm pretty sure that in some of those there were actually feldspar asteroids in the mission pocket, just for flavor, right? Because the mission was set in something that was flavored as an asteroid belt. So rather than risk our ship flying all the way out to Empire space, mining, trying to smuggle 100 cubic meters of feldspar back to J7A TAC, and then having to get back out again, we could instead just try running some more level 1 missions until we find one with veldspar asteroids in the mission pocket, and then we could strap some civilian miners onto our slasher and go in and mine the veldspar right here in J7A TAC. Now, I'm not sure how many of the missions in the level 1 mission pool actually have feldspar asteroids, but I'm sure it's some. So we'll try doing this for a little while, and while we do this, we'll be building up our domination standing one way or another. And if we die, conveniently, our home base is set back in Empire space where our slasher blueprint is. So worst case scenario, we get blown up, get potted, and get a shortcut back to Empire space, and then we only have to smuggle the veldspar in. So it's time to start running some level 1 missions as quickly as we can, and hope to find ourselves some feldspar. So this mission is Alluring Emanations. Let's go see if there's any feldspar. No asteroids. Just one sad, lonely rogue drone. Mortis Headhunters. No asteroids. Cargo Delivery. No asteroids. Avenge a Fallen Comrade. No asteroids. Rogue Drone Harassment. No asteroids. Breaking down 2 flies in one swing. No asteroids. Courier Fiasco. No asteroids. Cargo Delivery. Again, still no asteroids. Alluring Emanations. Again, still no asteroids. Roving Rogue Drones. I have to confess that I'm having some second thoughts about this plan. This mission is clearly set in an asteroid belt. Now, I know that missions in asteroid belts at one point had mineable asteroids in them. But if any of them were going to, I can't help but feel like this one would. Which makes me wonder if perhaps, though I am unaware of it, when the patch was introduced that removed most of the, or all of the veldspar belts, I think, from null-sec, if maybe that same patch or another patch around the same time prevented those ores from spawning in missions in null-sec, because that would be exploitable, and EVE players are nothing but creative in getting away in ways to get around the intention of developer changes. We'll keep running a few more missions because we're building up rep this way anyways. In fact, our domination's standing is now all the way up to 2.09. This is a viable way for us to reach our goal, even if we never are able to run materials for war preparation. Except that we are now down to just 600 rounds of ammunition for our autocannons. And I believe that there is nobody in the region selling us blueprints for it. Which means to acquire more ammunition, unless we get fortunate and get a mission against someone using autocannons where we can loot a little bit of it, we would have to fly back out to Empire space to build more bullets anyways. So we're going to keep running these level 1 missions until we find some asteroids in the mission pocket. We ding 3.0 standing just by running the level 1 missions, or we have to fly back out to Empire space for ammo anyways. It's anyone's guess as to what happens first. Rogue drone harassment. Again, cosmetic asteroids, no mineable asteroids. Breaking down 2 flies in one swing. Again, plenty of cosmetic asteroids, no mineable asteroids. The drone infestation. Cosmetic asteroids, no mineable asteroids. Concord Scout spotted. Rock formations, no asteroids. Cargo delivery. Again, so many asteroids, no mineable asteroids. We're now in a bit of a pickle. We have thus far run 15 level 1 missions for Shabani and J7A attack. Those are all since being offered the materials for war preparation mission by Ivmerel Nemestra, whose veldspar we still have not acquired. The next mission that we run for Shabani will trigger another storyline mission. And in case this storyline mission is not sufficient to push us over the line to get 3.0 standing with the dominations, we'd really like to ensure that our next storyline mission also comes from Ivmerel Nemestra, which means we need to knock this one off before we can do any more missions for Shabani, which means the moment has finally come that we have to commit to flying out to Empire space after all, getting some feldspar, and smuggling it back in here. The good news is, all this mission running and the bounties associated with it has got us up over 10 million ISK, which means that we can easily afford a BPO for, say, guns, or possibly even BPOs for another ship, which means that as much as we'd like to keep Angela the Slasher alive forever, the risk associated with flying out to Empire space and back to try and get some feldspar is a little bit easier to stomach. So we're going to check Eve gate check again, as we did before, and see which of the 2 routes looks safer. Okay, so Eve gate check suggests that we can get back to Utopia at least, without any danger currently at the RMOC TAC gate, so we are going to try it. And we're going to bring with us all of the salvage we've collected. We're also going to bring this railgun and these shield hardeners. Let's just quickly see if we can sell these Concord emblems here. No, so we'll bring them with us as well, because we know that we can sell them in Utopia. And off we go. Everyone who's in local is currently docked in the station, so it should be safe to warp straight to gate. JWJ TAC is empty. Oh shit TAC is empty. Oh, one person just spiked into local. It's a shuttle. Okay, we're not concerned. 2 people in local who look like one person. The gate's within D-scan, and there's nothing on D-scan, so we'll warp straight to gate. ATAC B is empty. Baltac has 1 in local. Now empty. Now 1 in local. Nothing on scan at the gate. 8 GTAC is empty. BLTAC is empty. ATAC Q is hopping. Now a lot of these people, no, 3 of these people are in our militia, but that leaves another 8 who are potential threats. So we're not going to warp gate to gate here. We're going to see where our gate is, and we're going to warp to this desolate asteroid belt near the gate so we can set a safe spot. There is an interdictor and a warp disruption probe on scan at the gate. That's not great. Let's warp to the planet because both of these gates are at the planet, so we can't tell which of the gates the flycatcher is at. Although I have some strong suspicion that he'll be at the RMOC gate, since that's the bottleneck through to the other half of Curse. He is at the RMOC gate. Which means that at the moment, that gate is essentially impassable to us. We do not want to tangle with the flu catcher. So what we're going to do is, for a few minutes at least, we're going to hang out at this safe spot until we see probes and see if maybe this guy moves on. His bubble is down, which means we should be able to warp safely to the gate at 100 right now without being caught in a bubble. And then we can get eyes on him and see if maybe he's a friend of ours. I'm going to drop another safe spot, a tactical, as we're landing, that's on grid, which is a trick. You can only warp to places that are at least 150 kilometers away. And you can only warp to something at a maximum of 100 kilometers. By dropping this tactical, we've allowed ourselves to warp further away from the gate, from our landing spot at 100, and then warp straight back to the gate, because we're still on grid. And we've seen that this guy is a member of our militia, which means that, thankfully, unless he is truly unscrupulous, we are safe. We'll wave at him as we pass by and say happy hunting. Or happy hunting, as it turns out. Our MOC TAC is empty. Lovely. So the reason that we could warp to that gate safely, even though there's a flycatcher there, is because you only get caught in a bubble, pulled out of warp by a bubble, if the bubble was up at the moment you entered warp. So we were hitting descan constantly when the bubble was down, and then we entered warp knowing that there was no current bubble, and even if he popped a bubble while we were in warp, we wouldn't get caught in it. And we would land on grid 100 kilometers away and be able to warp off in some direction that was not in line with his bubble. Okay, there's a suspect Astro, which certainly could be something that would hunt us, but does not seem to be looking for us currently. There are a couple people in local still, so we're going to do the same thing and drop another safe spot here, close to our outgate. Utopia has 6 in local, one of whom is a fellow militia member. We have an undocked bookmark. There's a couple of corpses floating in space here, so someone had a bad day. Devotchka Z. Even if this station is bubbled, which is uncommon that people are bubbling stations, warping to our undock spot should allow us to enter the grid safely. Nobody on descan though. And we'll dock up just temporarily to collect some more of our salvage and such that we had left in Utopia. Now, before we fly back out to Empire, we are going to check Eve Gate check again. But while we're in this system, where I know that we can sell these Concord soldier tags, we're going to just do that. So we'll sell off our Concord emblems. Yes. And we will check Eve Gate check again. Okay, so Eve Gate check is suggesting that there have been recent kills on our route, but those kills were at the Doral Gate in Utopia. And there's only 4 people in Utopia currently, and there were more previously. So we're going to go just get D-scan eyes on the Doral Gate and see if maybe that camp has moved on. Nobody on the gate. Rex. And no people. We're just going to go for it. It's nice sometimes you can see the gate from the planet. There's a heron, an explorer. That is not the person Eve Gate check was warning us about, I'm sure. Eve Gate check did say that an interdictor was in use there. Now, the thing we'll want to be careful of, we're going to work to our safe spot straight away. The thing we do want to be careful of is to make sure that the interdictors haven't moved over to the Zendaya Gate. Now, there's only one other person in local, 69er. It's possible that he is the interdictor pilot, though. So we're going to try and get within D-scan range of the Zendaya Gate before we run for it. Which hopefully we can do. It is sort of floating off there in space by itself. We'll set an out-of-line safe spot, another one along the way. That should be a pretty safe angle to warp in from if we need to. Zendaya's in D-scan range now. There's a confessor on scan, which is not an interdictor, and it's off scan now, so we're just going for it. Oh, and 69er had left system. Innocent Eli jumped in. There's nothing on scan, so even if he jumped in an interdictor, he wouldn't be able to pop a bubble in time to catch us. What is he in? An MR shuttle. Okay. And we made it out to Empire. This is very exciting. Now, I want to set our destination for Dysa. Actually, easier to do it from our Assets tab. 4 jumps. And then we will have consolidated all of our salvage. And we'll be able to fit our mining lasers and go get our feldspar. And then when we bring the feldspar back in to back into Eva Morel and J7 ATAC, we can be thoughtful about what we bring with us so that we don't run the risk of losing something valuable. We have successfully exported our most valuable resources, namely our salvage, out to Empire space. So this is a huge success. Even though we have still not yet completed the primary mission we've been working on all day, which is getting that 1,000 veldspar. Whoever would have thought that this would involve putting so much effort into getting 1,000 units, 100 cubic meters of the most abundant asteroid ore in the game. There's a lot of twists and turns here. And here we are, back in Dysa. It has been a while. I forget what we even have stored here. I know that we've been bouncing around to a few different stations when we were living in null-sec several episodes ago. Dysa was our last home, temporary as it may have been, before we decided to head out to null-sec. I don't remember which of our blueprints are here. Hopefully there is an ammunition blueprint so that we can start some more ammo building immediately, because we are dangerously low. Okay. We don't have all of our blueprints here. Our EMPS is elsewhere, but we can start our fusion building immediately. Oh, our EMPS was already building. Oh, that's fantastic. We're going to start 5,000 fusion and 5,000 EMP building immediately. And we have 2,500 that we just delivered. Oh, we need some more titanium. Okay. Let's deal with that. Yeah, let's deal with that. Let's look and see what we can do for titanium before we even worry about the mining, because I really, really do want that ammo building now. So what here is good for reprocessing? Okay, back in to build some fusion. We would like 5,000 fusion. Yes, please. And let's start some more EMP building as well. We can't quite start 25 jobs, but we can start 17. Another 1,700 EMP. That'll hold us off for a while. Okay, so next step is actually mining some veldspar. We are in DISA 0.2 low-sec. Low-sec, much like null-sec, no longer has veldspar in it. There's still veldspar available, I believe, in anomalies, but not in the belts. So our easiest course of action is going to be flying back into high-sec and just mining the abundant veldspar that's there. But by the rules of our run, if we want to go into high-sec, we have to do so in a Corvette. That should be no problem for what we're actually trying to accomplish here. So say hello to Grim Reaper 5. We don't need the civilian miner because we have 2 non-civilian miners here waiting for us. We need to we should pull the shield extenders off of Angela, and then we can put on nanofiber. Probably we can't fit the reinforced bulkhead. What does fit in this low? How much CPU do we have? Only 14. A signal amplifier will give us extra targeting range. Might be helpful. Probably not, but at least this way we don't have empty modules. Now, we have both of our turret slots filled with mining lasers, which means we're defenseless. However, Horatio the Hornet is here waiting for us. Horatio rides again. You will keep us safe from whatever dangers may await us in the asteroid belts of high-sec. And so armed, off we go. Oh, also, though we can't actually name a drone, it was pointed out to me by a comment on Reddit that we can name a drone group. And then remember that this little dude here is Horatio, Scourge of Sarad. Sarad, 0.5 security. My skin's starting to itch. We will not tarry back in high-sec for long. Let's see what the asteroid belts are like that Sarad has to offer. It has plenty. Hopefully we do not need to wander long in order to find the veldspar we have come for. This mines 58 meters cubed per 60 seconds, and this mines 58 meters cubed per 60 seconds, which means that it should take us exactly 1 minute to mine all the veldspar that we need. Is there veldspar here? Yes. Yes, there is veldspar. 23 kilometers away. 20 kilometers away. But there are also 2 Sanchez pirates. Horatio, you know what to do. The madman rides again. Alright, let's not forget to actually mine the veldspar. Well, these Sanchez butchers are doing real damage to us. Horatio, get to work. Horatio might need two goes to kill these guys. We're gonna align back out. Alright, Horatio, I know you're rusty. You're rusty, and we only have one shield extender on this. Okay, our first attempt to farm some veldspar was not a rousing success. But Horatio has shaken off the cobwebs, and he's ready to show us that he doesn't afraid of no Santos frigates anymore. Right, Horatio? Let's do this. Last time, we just flew straight into an asteroid and started trying to mine without worrying about these Santos at all. But they were doing a surprising amount of damage. So this time we're going to give them a moving target. Try and stay out of their optimal range with high transversal while Horatio does his job. Great job, Horatio. I knew you could do it. Now let's see what those guys had. Let's collect ourselves some sweet Sancho loot. And then mine some sweet Sarad Veldspar. This is going swimmingly. Now, I don't know how long we have before the belt rats here respawn, so we should loot and mine quickly while the coast is clear. A smart bomb? Oh. Well, that's interesting. I have trouble imagining a situation where we want to fit a smart bomb. But it's a damaging weapon that does not take up a turret slot or a launcher bay. Which means that, for example, on our slasher, we could put the smart bomb in place of the salvager, and then so long as we got within... What's the range? 3,000 meters, which we're usually in anyways. So in fact, we could increase the DPS of Angela the Slasher by fitting that smart bomb, and we might just do that. You just have to be very careful in high sec, where we're not allowed to operate with Angela anyways, because if you smart bomb someone when you're in the presence, when you're in high sec, if you smart bomb a player or anything that belongs to the player at all, then Concord will come and kill you just as they would if you targeted and shot a player ship. But we're not going to be in high sec. And a warp scrambler. This Sancho loot is really trying to push us in a direction of violence. Okay. Now, 32 kilometers away, veldspar. There's also concentrated veldspar here, which is better to mine. It gives you more minerals per unit, but because Eva Morel asked us for veldspar, I suspect, based on my experience with this game, that if we showed up with concentrated veldspar, she'd be like, what the hell is this? So we're gonna mine regular old veldspar. What's the range on these? 16 kilometers, 11 kilometers. There we go. Let's see if we can get through our one cycle before any NPCs return. $1,049 units of veldspar. Friggin' right. Back to Dysa. Our mission has updated. It has shown us that we have in fact got what we need. Now we just need to get it to J7A tech. Well, we got in and we got out. Hopefully we can get back in again. Strip the fitting from Groom Reaper 5 before we forget that we put all that stuff on there. Let us get back at Angela. Load back up our 2500 EMP in this random 50 fusion. 1000 veldspar. Let's check out our fit. I think this is still the right fit. I don't love the shield booster, honestly, in practice, but we forgot our other shield extender in Utopia. I don't feel like building another one right now. Actually, no, I've changed my mind. Because we're going for stealth here, I think that we want to switch back to micro warp drive. And in fact, we'll go second web. Now, it's unlikely this will work. If we get caught, then we're probably dead. But what this does is it gives us a little bit more of an opportunity to try and run if we get locked by burning away at high speed with micro warp drive back to gate, probably, and double webbing someone in case they're chasing us with a point on us. Now, the amount of hit points we have is totally trivial, but we might as well fit for our purpose. And our purpose is to get through those 12 jumps of null-sec without dying. Eve gate check says the coast is clear. We're going for it.
Okay, so it's super frustrating, but I did actually mess up the video recording of the flight back to J7A TAC, so I'm just playing some clips here of other flights through null-sec. I also didn't successfully record the turning in of materials for war preparation, which is a shame, but really I just opened a conversation with Eva Burrell, said here you go, and we got some domination standing, but not enough. So then we immediately ran another mission, which was Fair Play to the Rescue for Shabani, and then A Case of Kidnapping, which was the second storyline mission that Eva Morel offered, and then this.
All right, Eva Morel. That was a lot of NPCs, but I gotta say, I liked that one a lot better than your materials for war preparation. We can be buds again. Especially if you put in a good word with the domination, sufficient to push me over the line. Excellent. The victims' families will be pleased that their loved ones are still alive. All right. Very good. Domination's 3.27! Put that check mark up there. We've done it. We've done it. So now we have to go to Canora and talk to LR Stin of the Dominations. Hey, Eve Gatecheck is telling us now that there's only one system on our route where people are killing each other, and it's KTAC B, which is 5 jumps out, but Eve Gatecheck is saying that the kills have been happening not at the gate that we're passing through, so we are going to try it. Here we go. Long fly through Scalding Pass and Great Wildlands. Our hold is full. Not of anything that it would be a total tragedy that if we lost, although we would like to get these pieces of salvage back to Dysa eventually. We still do want to put rigs on Angela. This is a little bit of a dangerous trek we're undertaking, if I'm honest. This is the longest flight through null-sec that we've undertaken so far. Once we get out of Curse into Scalding Pass and Great Wildlands, that area of space is actually extremely quiet, so it's relatively safe for us to fly through as far as null-sec goes. Our biggest danger is going to be while we're in Curse. And through we go, into KTAC B, where if we're going to meet our end on this journey, it's going to be now. Only one local. It looks like those people have moved on. Hopefully they have not moved on to somewhere further along our path. Where is the Vol.me gate? Way out of the middle of nowhere. Okay, so we're going to drop a safe over here. Just so that when we warp to the Vol.me gate, we're not warping directly in line with both this gate and this Astra House. But this is going to be a bit of a blind warp. The only person in local is a militia member, so we should be quite safe. Now there is a bubble here. It's a friendly bubble, and we avoided it by taking our little jog around. Now we're fortunate that I was a militia member, but also that goes to show that all of this bouncing and bookmarking that we're doing is not a waste of our time. If we had warped straight gate to gate, we would have landed right in that guy's bubble, and we would have had to rely on his morals as a militia member not to pop us. And in general, I would say that, well, EVE players can be extremely friendly. I've made some very good friends in EVE. In general, banking on the ethical integrity of fellow EVE Online pilots is not necessarily how you want to be shaping your decision making. We are in Scalding Pass now, which is territory of Decoy Alliance and Deepwater Hooligans. Deepwater Hooligans are known troublemakers. Okay, 7 in local. Looks like we're in the out of the blue. Okay. Might be in a minor staging system. Where is that gate? Over there. Oh, still no one on D-scan. Okay, so we're just going to pass through. 1 in local. It's not on D-scan and the gate is, so we're just going to go for it. And we're in the Great Wildlands. Famously the emptiest null-sec region of EVE. So hopefully these last few jumps should be straightforward. Although the boundary system between null and low, even when you're out in the middle of nowhere, those boundary systems are almost always dangerous. People will be bubble camping the gates often to catch people sort of accidentally popping up out from low without understanding the mechanics. Also, people from low will pop out quite intentionally into those systems right at the edge just to get the better bounties and better sights that null-sec offers. So these next few jumps will probably be low traffic, but I won't be surprised if we see a handful of people in local once we reach Entakar. Now jumping into Entakar, where I was predicting that we would see some traffic. Let's see if that's true. We are playing at a little bit of an odd hour of the day. It's early morning here in Montreal. Well, not that early, but morning nonetheless. 1 in local. I think there's a decent chance that they'll be at the Canora gate. So let's try not to blind warp in from an obvious angle. Actually, I don't really love... Make a safe spot, but I don't love that as a warp in angle. It's too close to being in line with that gate, which surely is the gate people are coming from most often. It looks like this asteroid belt over here would be a better warp in. See if they're on D-scan yet? No, still not on D. Oh, we're going to get within D-scan of the Canora gate. That's good news. So now we can see that they're not there, and we can warp out quite safely. And we're back in low-sec. And best of all, we can now go talk to LR Stin. Which will mean that I'll probably never need to try and type her name into the search box again. Which is honestly perhaps the best part of this. The coward LR Stin is the name of her beacon. Oh, LR. What did you do to earn this reputation? Let's chat with her, shall we? Take a peek at her Dromio. There she is. Welcome to my humble little shop, pilot. I didn't see you were an Egger. Stin's the name, or at least it's the one I'm using for this operation. I'm here to recruit some fresh blood for the battles in Curse. Seems you lot have started to wander off right when we need Capsuleers the most. If you're interested, I can hook you up with Abdiel Virat. She's the primary point of contact for Capsuleers and Curse. Perfect. Back in KTAC Q, which we passed through before. We get 2 million ISK just for going to meet her. We have 6 hours to get the bonus reward. All right, this is the starting quest of Angel Sound, the Angel Epic arc, which is going to be probably not possible to complete entirely in Angela as she's currently fit, but we're going to start working towards it, and if we need to ship up, we'll figure it out when we get there, because we need to do this arc. That's how we're going to get our Cynabal BPC, LR Stin. I accept your offer. Head hunted. Now, let's get off this grid.